Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the program Business Time. This is a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country, and my name is William Kumwembe. In the program today, we speak with the Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCCI, on their expectation of the economic situation post September 16th elections. And also in the program, we engage the Insurance Institute on efforts towards increasing insurance penetration in Malawi. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. This is Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country, and my name is William Mwembe. In our main story in the program today, for quite some time, Malawi has been facing a number of challenges in as far as the economy is concerned. Issues to do with scarcity of forex, scarcity of fuel, vis-a-vis other economic challenges attributed to rising inflation has had a knock on how businesses have been operating. Post-September 16 election, what are the expectations? Our journalist, Chimwemwe Mangazi, caught up with the Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCCI Chief Executive Officer, Daisy Kambalame, to find out what the industry expects after the September 16 elections.
First of all, I'd want to congratulate the President-elect, Professor Bidartha Mutharika, and his Vice President-elect, Justice Jedansa, for the victory that they have achieved. I think from the private sector, we are first of all comforted by the fact that the election period went through peacefully. There were a few incidences that were reported, but not too much disturbance to the private sector. So for us, that's a very positive outcome. So we just want to thank everyone and congratulate the Malawi Electoral Commission as well, including Justice Annabel Talimanja and her commissioners, that everything was, the transition was quite smooth, and we're looking forward to that same trajectory that is going to carry through, because for the business environment, a peaceful and calm environment is really positive. When I look at now the expectation, I think the core of where we stand as private sector is to have a stable economy where there are opportunities for investment, where there are opportunities for growth, and you can have policies that actually encourage investment and growth. We've seen and we've reported as a chamber that a couple of companies had been reporting inefficiencies in their system that they had to actually reduce, and most of them were operating at about 70-75%, and some even as low as 60% of efficiency. That shows you that your private sector is shrinking. That shows you that your economy is shrinking, because this is where you create jobs. These are your taxpayers. These are the ones that are going to continue to invest and actually generate the forex that we've all been crumbling about. So I think for us, that's the most paramount issue, to ensure that the economy is thriving and there's that level of stability. Now, when you start looking at breaking down what are the issues that really need to go into that, I think the first thing is the ease of doing business. I think we've seen that sometimes because there isn't enough dialogue and discussion, some policies that are meant to create opportunities or create growth and also maybe generate forex or conserve forex actually come and hinder operations. Because if you start talking about limiting access to forex, even for those that are exporting, you know that those same companies cannot continue to import materials that they need for their production. So some of those policies, I think, really need to think through how have they affected the economy. What are the things that we now need to do to understand what is required for innovation, and especially when there's a lot of disparity between your official rate of exchange and the black market rate, then you know that there is chaos. You know that people are not going to the bank to actually surrender their dollars. When they generate them, they find other ways of converting them. So that already hurts your medium of operations. And in the end, it also increases inflation, because those that are procuring inputs are probably going to the black market to source their forex. I think the other key issue for Malawi is food availability, and I think the impact that food inflation has on the Malawi economy. If you look at the trends, and I think as a chamber we've actually studied the trend that maize prices have on January for inflation, you find that almost 20% of that is actually also enforced or influenced by food inflation. So I think that's one of the key issues. And for me, I think the other issue is, by creating a stable environment and improving dialogue, you can actually help businesses plan better. I think no business wants to see a level where, tomorrow policies are going to change. If you want to invite an investor to Malawi, they want to know that in the next 20, 30 years or 10 years, we'll know policy trends as much as possible. Yes, there are times that you have to bring in temporary measures and you have to bring in temporary regulations that are going to address a specific issue that emerges. But you want to create that environment of stability. So I think for me, those are kind of like the key pillars that we have to take through to just make sure that there is that increased dialogue and actually ensuring that that level of partnership is happening with the private sector.
Now, Malawi is one of the countries in the region with less insurance penetration, hovering around 2.3%. This is attributed to low levels of disposable income, low knowledge about insurance trends, and so many other challenges that are affecting the level of penetration. As if that is not enough, one of the key sectors of the economy, agriculture, seem not to be benefiting enough from several funders, including the insurance sector, and this causes a concern as it affects the prospects for growth and development of the sector. Now, our journalist Benedetta Chiwandamia examines how insurance players can play a role to ensure that the agriculture sector makes the most of the industry.
Malawi's economy is heavily agriculture dependent, with the sector contributing around 25 to 30% to GDP and providing over 80% of national export earnings. The sector also plays a crucial role in providing direct and indirect employment, reducing poverty and ensuring food security. Currently, agriculture employs approximately 64% of Malawi's workforce, yet despite its economic relevance, adverse weather conditions brought by climate change have heavily impacted the sector's productivity in recent years, with most farmers failing to produce enough for consumption and a surplus for the market. Amidst such emerging threats, experts and stakeholders feel remedies like insurance coverage can help safeguard farmers from agricultural losses in case of disasters like flooding or drought. Despite its contribution, agriculture remains among the least insured sectors in Malawi, at a time insurance penetration remains far low in Malawi. Insurance Institute of Malawi President Ruben Kamanga said most farmers in Malawi practice smallholder farming and cannot afford insurance coverage. Kamanga therefore emphasized the need for farmers to form cooperative societies with support from government for them to easily access financing for their production, including insurance cover.
Okay, cooperative society is very simple. I'll give an example like what's happening now in Lower Chile. There is a project for Andesino Hydro where they are putting up a canal. So where you go there, if you take one farmer, the effort that he can put on a piece of land, it will be minimal. Also, you might not get much support from the financial sector because you're looking as an individual. But if you take the whole community within surrounding area, they'll come together, whether they'll cultivate groundnuts or whatever they want to grow there. If they'll come as a cooperative as together, which means the production will be high. That production, we'll be able to export as a country, then we'll get a forex. So if you look at the sort of effort, it's not easier because it will be difficult for you to get the finance of that project. But as a cooperative society, we have got structures. So which means that every institution, especially finance, like the banks, they will be able to give you the support that you need as a group. You know, it's a different one when you are giving an individual, because you cannot monitor the money for yourself. But for the group, it's not for you. So you only get the dividend at the end of the day. While as an individual, you must start using the funds. That will become difficult. So the only way that we can empower our locals is when they have become cooperative, where they're doing together, finding a crop that is appealing to an international market. And when we're doing together, we're able to have the forex in this country. So our aim is that to make sure that from the production, from the field crop, we should be able to give them insurance. Sometimes they might dry spell. We're able to cover that. But after the harvesting, where they are putting, we have also to ensure that if there's fire, catch the crops that they have harvested, we have to insure them. Transportation, if they're taking outside the country, they should also put insurance goods what in transit within local. If they're taking international, we're talking about marine. So there are a lot of connection in terms of the end results, because wherever you want to take, because we should look at more of exporting, because the problem that Malawi has is more exporting, not importing. Because the moment we rely on importing, then our economy will still have to be bleeding. But we want to stop that. And we as insurers, we're advocating that we need to help our government by making sure that we have cooperatives where our target should be produce more for export. At the end of the day, the forex will be here. The only challenge is that our customers have moved on. But us as an industry, we're still lagging behind. Because most of the customers, they want things at advanced level, but we haven't invested much. So as our IIM, we're just advocating to make sure that all our industry, they should make sure that they should adapt to the new world, because the Gen Z generation, to be honest with you, they don't want waste. They want real-time service. And we're not yet there. How do we do it? These are the conflicts that we discussed, that how best we can help each other. The only way is to invest. If you can't invest, then you are out of this business.
Kamanga made the call when receiving a 6 million kwacha donation from Old Mutual Malawi Limited in support of the association's Lakeshore Conference in Mangochi, which is set to take place from 2 to 4 October 2025 under the theme Innovate, Adapt, Thrive, Survival of Insurance in Malawi in the Age of Global Disruptions. Old Mutual Human Capital Executive Rex Kadzongwe said their support is meant to help provide a platform where experts can discuss critical strategies to drive the industry forward.
Old Mutual is a responsible business. As a player in the insurance industry, we saw it fit that we should support the Insurance Institute of Malawi because it does support the development of insurance professionals. This conference is very critical because it is going to put together experts in the industry to brainstorm ways on how they can improve the industry and the professionalism in the industry. It is through collaborations like these that is going to help the industry to improve the penetration levels that are currently low.
In July this year, Malawi received an insurance payout of $3.3 million, an equivalent of over 6 billion kwacha, from the African Risk Capacity ARC for drought-related losses in the 2024-2025 agricultural season.
Moving on with the program. Women entrepreneurs in the country have been urged to be in the fore in ensuring that they are producing commodities and products that abide by the standards, as well as those that would ensure that the country meets its objective of import substitution. One of the key producers of cleaning services in the country is Melaka Cleaning Company, and one of the directors there is Nancy Nkoma. She says women have a key role to play in ensuring that they produce enough for the local market as well as for exports market. I caught up with her on how the company is faring and what prospects the company has.
We made sure that the cleaning products should be of good quality, number one. Number two, we made sure that they should be affordable. So we made sure that it shouldn't be expensive so that everyone should be able to afford buying them. Why women is because most women, they just sit down at home, they do nothing, they've got nothing to do, they just wait for their husbands to come and give them something. So I just want to empower women that they can do something, they need to do something. So this business is not a business that needs a lot of money. It needs a small capital. Like with 100,000, you can start. If you have 100,000 kwacha, you can start dishwashing liquid, you can start to make pine gel, you can start to make a hair shampoo. They don't need any qualification, they just need to come. They don't need to know English, they don't need to know nothing, they just have to come and have that passion. First, Malawians think that only products that come from South Africa, comes from Zambia, are the ones that have good quality. But then, after making our products, because I know what we make, I know what I make, our products are very good quality. Our products are the same with the ones that comes from South Africa, and even sometimes our products are better than the ones that are coming from South Africa. So we make these products here in Malawi and at very affordable prices. And I've noticed that if most women come and start making the same quality that we are making, I'm very sure that with the issues of forex and the like, it will not be a problem, because we don't have to go outside and get even cleaning products that many women are making them of good quality, the same ones that we are going to get from South Africa. So I'm very sure this can help our country. Women empowerment will help addressing challenges of employment in Malawi. If, for example, I start making cleaning products today, I will need, say, for example, 10 women to start. So if I employ 10 women to start my cleaning business, that means if 200 women are doing it, that means it's 10 times 200. So you can see the number of women that we've helped. My message is that they should come and learn so that they can.
Now, in other business news, the Institute of People Management in Malawi has says it has introduced a new award to be recognizing HR practitioners for their outstanding performance in their respective institution. The awards would be introduced at this year's Institute of People Management Malawi conference, which will be held next month in Mangochi. Our journalist, Luele Nimpasa, caught up with Grace Nyambo, who is the Secretary General for the Institute of People Management, for an insight regarding the new awards.
The key issues is regarding our annual conference that is taking place in Mangochi from 23 to 25 October 2025. Secondly to that, we have said we are planning to have the HR awards that will take place same time as will be at the conference. So since these are first of its kind, we felt like we should also keep the nation and or keep key stakeholders informed. As we have shared the theme for the conference, will focus on main aspects, mainly capacity building, industrial relations. You have seen we got a guru that will talk on the industrial relations, and we got a guru that is coming from Kenya, who will be our keynote speaker, who will also share insights on leadership. And we got several other speakers that will talk in several aspects, all of them focusing on skills development and capacity building. The world is evolving, and as we always say, learning is continuous. And the moment you stop learning, it's like you can't evolve. So in short, we want to keep our members or our stakeholders, even the general public, well informed. So in short, we want people to be responding well to the current market demands.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, thank you for watching. My name is William Kumwembe. Always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Stay safe and goodbye for now.